Welcome, and here we go again. And today it's time for the dreaded review of the Battle of Ranskor af Kolos. Yes, today I will be taking a look back at the Battle of Ranskor af Kolos. It's going to be a very short review. I haven't rewatched it. I decided on Friday. I picked out this particular episode out of my box of episodes randomly, and I didn't plan a review because I thought it'd be more fun if I didn't. how do I rate how do I rate the Battle of Ranskor Kolos? I don't. I should have rewatched it, but I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be asked. I couldn't sit through that again. I've only watched this episode once. I nearly fell asleep. I only remember the first 5 minutes and the last minute of the episode, and then everything went blank. I don't think I actually remember what the plot is. I don't remember anything about it, which makes for a really good review. It's pretty terrible. It's really bad. As a normal episode, it would probably be considered just below average, sort of Eaters of Light level, a bit crap, but not totally crap, just sort of there. But as it's the Doctor Who Series 11 finale, a finale to a series that was underwhelming anyway, it just really doesn't land at all, and it's even worse because it's a finale. It's because it's way below average. It's terrible because it's a finale. It just lacks everything a finale needs to be. Luckily, Chibnall got a bit better in the last series, but it's not got any threat. It's not got a good enough monster, which, if you look at the other monsters of New Who finales, Tim Shaw doesn't compare. It doesn't have a story arc resolution. It doesn't have enough time spent on certain elements. It spends too much time on others. Just adds too much into the story. Disappointing resolution of the Graham arc, which just pops up out of nowhere, where he wants to get his revenge. A terrible conclusion to the story, and a terrible conclusion to the series. It's just absolutely terrible. It even tries to be exciting at one point, but fails dramatically. This is the most boring piece of shite I've ever watched in my life. I can't even put into words how crap this is. Just an absolutely terrible episode of Doctor Who. There's just not much redeemable. As I say, Tim Shaw is shite. If you take a look at the finales in New Who, Series 1, you had the Daleks. Series 2, you had the Daleks and the Cybermen. Series 3, you had the Master. In Series 4, you had the Daleks and Davros. In Series 5, you had the alliance of every Doctor Who monster ever. In Series 6, you had the Silence. In Series 7, you had the Great Intelligence. In Series 8, you had the Cybermen and the Master, or Missy. In Series 9, you had... What did you have for that? Nothing really, but it got Gallifrey in anyway, so I'm not going to sit here and defend Hellbent, but it had Gallifrey, so it had the good scale. Series 10 had the Cybermen and the Master, and Series 12 had Cybermen and the Master, and yet this has Tim Shaw, the most pathetic villain ever, who gets defeated by being shot in the foot by an ex-bus driver. That's just bloody pathetic. He's the Stenzer's threat is tried to build up throughout the series. He's terrible in episode 1. He's even worse in episode 10. And they could have had a cooler villain. They could have had more than one Stenzer. They could have done something better. They could have had the Daleks in it instead, or some returning threat, or some bigger threat, or some thing that would sort of have a big scale to it. Bringing back Gallifrey, for example, in some of the finales was huge, or the Master, or just bringing back something of a grandiose scale, or just bringing in something, resolving threads of the series, bringing in new threads for the next series. But no, it does none of that. It's just an average. It's just an episode that's there, and it's the finale, so it drops down a lot. It's just terrible. All the companions are terrible. Jodie's not very good. The writing's absolutely abhorrent. Horrible writing. Just one of the worst episodes of Doctor. It's a disgrace to Doctor Who when you look at this. It's just an absolute disgrace to the show that we know and love and appreciate, and it's just absolutely appalling. I wish I could review something else. I wish I didn't put this in the box because there's not much to talk about. But yeah, the yucks are pointless. There's so much exposition going on. It suffers from all of Series 11's major flaws, and it's the finale, so it's even worse. It's just terrible. I can't talk about this any longer. Anyway, on a lighter note, I can't talk about this any longer. It's even wiped from my mind what the last story I reviewed on here was. Anyway, yesterday the whole fandom gathered together to watch along to Stolen Out Jenny's End, which is lovely. David Tennant joined in, Catherine Tate joined in, John Barrowman, Fema Agyeman, Russell T Davies, Noel Clarke, Graham Harper. Lots of people joined in to watch the episode, as well as hundreds and thousands of fans across the world at the same time watch that two-parter, and it was lovely. It's the most connected our fandom have ever been before, and it's so lovely. It's just, the reason I've said this is from a year after from where Series 11 caused such toxicity within the fandom. A year later, we're here now, and we've got such a brilliant fandom again, and we're connected again because we're watching something that we respect and love and have a nostalgia factor for. Because I don't think generations in years to come will have the same nostalgia factor if they turned on during Series 11 as we do when we watched from the RTD era or the Moffat era. It's so lovely to sit down and watch those old episodes with the cast and crew who provide some exclusive nuggets of information. Yesterday we had the final Sarah Jane adventure story, which was beautiful. Just yesterday was one of the best days in terms of the fandom ever, and I think as a fandom, when we bond over the things we loved in the show, it's much better than when we focus on the things the fandom is more torn over. Because Series 11 is nowhere near as popular as the episodes we're watching and reviewing on the watch-alongs. So yeah, there's been some lovely watch-alongs. Human Nature Family of Blood is coming up on Friday, and as I say, I'll leave the Farewell Sarah Jane video in the comments below because that's absolutely lovely. And if you haven't watched that yet, please do. It features lots of people from the show. It features Katie Manning and Sophie Aldred as Jo and Ace, and it's just lovely. It's got a lot of laughs, a lot of tears maybe shed if you were a fan of the show, and it's beautiful tribute to Sarah Jane, as well as providing us an interesting insight into where some of the classic Who companions like Dodo and Nissa and Tegan and Grace Holloway and stuff are now, which is really nice. So anyway, please check that out. That's really nice. And thank you for tuning in to my review of Battle of Ransgraf Kolos. Sorry it was a bit crap, but I don't have much to say on it. I do not remember it at all. It's just terrible. Disgrace to humankind. Anyway, without further ado, let's pick out the next episode. And the next episode, I think we've done 4 of these reviews. Don't know. I think this is the 4th one. Anyway, there's lots of episodes in there, and we're going to decide what the 5th one is, and we'll be reviewing that on Friday. I didn't do a video over the weekend at all. I didn't do one on Saturday, and I didn't do one on Sunday. I think in terms of Doctor Who, Series 12 in particular, I've talked all the way through that. So it's just a matter of finding new ways to produce content. And please, guys, let us know what content you'd like to see on the channel. I'd really appreciate that. So, let's go. Let's pick out the next one. Okay. Let's hope this is better than last week. I'll be reviewing this one, whatever it is, on Friday. It is a classic Who episode, and it's Earthshock. So, reviewing that on Friday from about 5 o'clock. Please tune in.